Welcome to our next geometry lesson. This one's going to address a couple of different things with measuring distance and finding certain points on a line. The one before, of course, was all about measuring distance between 2 points, but this one is a little bit more mathematically involved. You want to find a few more formulas. What you're going to need to define for your notes is midpoint and bisector, and you're going to have to remember something about ratio and proportion. So at first I want to talk about midpoint. If we have 2 points on a line, the midpoint is exactly in the middle of it. So if the whole thing is 6 and it tells you that this is the midpoint, it's 3 on each side. Now, you can also count exactly that same way if they give you coordinates. So if this is 0, 4, and then we have a point over here that's 8, 10, or something like that, and we go from this point over here to this point, the midpoint is going to be exactly halfway. Halfway between 0 and 8 is 4. Halfway between 4 and 10 would be 7. So it's pretty quick to find that it's the average of those two numbers, so you'll be able to locate the midpoint fairly quickly. For bisector, you have to remember that bi is a Latin root meaning 2, and sect means cut. So literally, it cuts it in 2. If you make a line that cuts another figure in 2, you have found the midpoint there. It's going to be exactly in the middle. We're not talking about cutting in 2 like, oh, I cut a little bit off it, so there's 2 parts. When you use bisector, it refers to dividing it exactly in half. Now, when you go to make a bisector, you go to construct one. Again, we're going to use circles. So you understand that the radius of the circle is always at halfway. So if we go to do this, we make a mark at more than halfway, where more than halfway would be on a circle, with a compass, and then another mark at more than halfway where it would be. Where these intersect, top and bottom, is, if you set up your compass correctly, exactly in the middle. So you make that mark down through there, you've now cut your line exactly in half. Again, I'll demonstrate more in class, show you how to do that with the compass. Now, a ratio is when you talk about something like, we have a 4-to-1 ratio for this. Their example in the book, I believe, is 4-to-1, and they say here's A, here's B, and here's C way out here. So we have point A, point B, point C. And they say that this is a 4-to-1 ratio. So if the whole thing is 15, then how long is each part? You have to understand that this is 1 part, this is 4 parts, so there's 5 parts total, and each part would be 3, because we're going to divide this by 5. So this one would be 3, whatever your measurement is, millimeters, inches, and this one would be 12. That would maintain that 4-to-1 ratio. Hopefully this gets you started down the right path towards understanding what we're doing with midpoint, bisector, and locating the distance of points, and understanding how to construct a bisector to find the midpoint of a segment.